Welcome back, everybody, to day 10 of our 17 video mini course series of how to successfully buy insurance leads and have great success with the leads.
Huge,
Huge,
huge.
huge. Guys, we're talking about activity levels today. What kind of activity levels are necessary in order to be successful with these types of leads? Guys, I want you to have the mentality that your activity level, maybe it's a here right now. I want it to go up to here, right? Like we want to get every single drop out of these leads that you possibly can. We're going to be squeezing them. You never have like a sponge, and you're squeezing it. You're just
I was gonna say orange.
squeezing.
I was gonna say sponge works too, though.
Squeeze a
It's
sponge.
the same. You
Um,
squeeze it all. I don't know.
yeah, let's say you're making orange juice, and you're squeezing the orange, and you don't want to leave any
All that.
drops left. Um,
You're cleaning the floor. You want to get all that cleaning solution out of your sponge. What is going on? We're
Glenn,
losing our minds on day 10, you guys.
talk to the people about activity levels.
Yeah, so yeah, my mind immediately goes to, I'm a bit of a sports freak. I think Christian is too. We talk about basketball all the time, and I think about from a coaching perspective, what would I say to my players is you can't control how the game goes in the sense of what that final score might look like.
Mm-hmm.
You might be outmatched. You may have never had a chance to begin with, but what you can control is your activity level in that game. How much you're hustling. Are you running up and down the court? Are you chasing every ball? Are you playing defense on every play? Your activity level is a controllable that you are 110% in control of. If you run and how that relates to the insurance leads, if you run an appointment and no one's home, you can't control that, right?
Mm-mm.
Let's say,
No.
yeah, you try calling a lead, they don't answer, right? You can't control that. But what you can control is how many appointments are you going to try running that day?
Right.
How many calls are you going to try to make that day? And this is where I think a lot of agents will either have massive success or we'll see them fail out of the industry. And especially if you're a new agent. If you're a new agent, you have to just have insane activity level because you might not really understand what you're doing yet. You might run into objections that you just thought you couldn't get around, but if you were a veteran agent, you could have easily got through it. I think of the other piece of this that I think of, I see agents who are not great salespeople who make an incredible amount of money. They crush it in this industry. And if you saw them trying to sell, you'd be like, oh my gosh, this is horrific. But they outsell so many agents, and you're
Yeah.
thinking to yourself, you're like, how is this happening? How is this agent who is not a good salesperson selling more policies than me? And I'm an incredible salesperson. And it's exactly this. It's activity level. If you're closing 50% of your appointments and the other agent's only closing 20%, I'm running 3 appointments a day. They're running 15 appointments a day. Who's going to make more money at the end of this thing? I'll tell you what, the person who's running 15 appointments a day, they're going to make a lot more money. They're going to have a bigger ROI and they're going to have more success when they're buying insurance leads,
Yeah.
right?
100%. 100%. The great Jim Rohn said one time, if anybody knows Jim Rohn, comment on this video if you're watching on YouTube. But the great Jim Rohn said one time when it came to prospecting that let's say you have a guy that talks to 10 people and he closes 2 out of 10. Okay. There's another guy that only closes 1 out of 10, but he talks to 30 people and he closes 3. The guy with the lower closing percentage won because
Yep.
he made more contacts, he had more activity, right? Um, and that's a great way to look at it, right? Oftentimes the activity level determines your level of success, right? in my cold calling days, Glenn as well, when he was making cold calls, we were making hundreds of phone calls a day, my friends.
Yes.
Hundreds. There were days I made 400 phone calls in a day. I think a couple of days I might have hit 500. I started at like, I tried this thing where I was calling on I was living on the East Coast for a little while. I was calling different time zones and things like that so I could work later and things like that, working 2 hours later. Like I was working like 14-hour days. And there was a couple of days I hit 500 calls. Like, not saying you necessarily have to do that necessarily, but the reason why that was able to work for me was my activity level was so spectacular. And I think activity level is something you need to wrap your mind around. And so the way this relates to leads, and we'll kind of close this puppy out. How many times are you calling your leads? I hear this all the time from agents.
Yes.
Couldn't get anybody on the phone. How many times did you call? 0.5. I'm like, 0.5? What? Does that mean you didn't finish all the way through? Well, then
No, it means they got 10 leads and they made 5 phone calls. That is point
point
that is
5.
point 5, and that happens every single day. I can see you, I can hear you from here. You're only making 5 phone calls out of 10 leads.
Like, what I recommend to agents is activity level should be making multiple phone calls to each lead. You should be making multiple phone calls a day, calling different times of the day. Call in the morning, call in the evening, call for multiple days in a row. Hit these leads. Hit them, because the average sales contact that actually results in a sale is going to be made, studies have shown, on average the sixth contact. So if you're calling one time through and calling it a day, your activity level is not where it needs to be successful with leads.
This is going to be my final thoughts, you guys. I believe that activity level trumps all. It trumps the skill of the agent. It trumps the quality of the lead. It trumps the commission levels. It trumps the car you're driving. It trumps the software you're using. It trumps everything. And I've seen it over and 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 over. Activity level is literally one of the biggest determining factors in your success as an agent, your success buying insurance leads. Again, today is day 10 of our 17-day mini course, How to Succeed Buying Insurance Leads. If you would like to take advantage of this limited time exclusive insurance lead offer, click the link below and you can get $17 call verified, turning 65, Medicare supplement, or final expense life insurance leads. The link is either right below this video or right above, depending on what platform you're watching on. Please, please, please don't miss out on this. I am begging you to not miss out on this, because this is the biggest discount we've done in years, and I don't know if we'll ever do something like this ever again. That's just the truth. I can't promise you it one way or another, so you got to strike while the iron's hot. Until next time, you guys, happy selling.